Hi, management class. Welcome. This is Dr. Bowen with another management class video. We are moving forward to the advanced forms of management now. So I'm glad that you've made it this far in the class. Congratulations, and let's get started. We're going to talk today about Chapter 10, which is Issues Management. Issues management is my favorite part of management strategy. It is my favorite because it is so important. It's vital to everything we do. And that's because you either manage your issues or they manage you. So when you do issues management, it's so vital to the organization that you can save a company millions of dollars, you can save lives, or you can save the company, full stop. So issues management is arguably the most important thing that we do as managers. So let's talk about what issues management is. The strategic process by which an organization identifies potential problems and solves them proactively. There's a definition in your book that includes managing future potentials and talking about public policy and how the organization's public policy can impact its future. So issues management is the highest level executive problem-solving function of communicators. These folks are usually 30 plus years of experience in the field, and they are very well seasoned in their industries. What is an issue? So we may first think about that. He said an issue is a contestable question of fact, value, or policy that affects how stakeholders grant or withhold support and seek changes through public policy. Public policy is essentially the government regulatory process. It's how public opinion forms around an issue, how people pressure their legislators to react on certain issues, from grassroots lobbying all the way up to professional lobbying initiatives, and how those legislators respond to public policy challenges. The whole point of issues management is, of course, like I already said, to save an organization money, to save lives, to help it continue to exist. But more specifically, the whole point is to help an organization maintain its autonomy. Autonomy means freedom to manage strategically as its executive management team sees fit, knowing its industry and its competitive environment better than the government or anyone else, so that it can manage in the most effective way, leveraging its competitive efficiencies and whatever that organization uses as its competitive advantage. Everything we do in issues management is to help the organization maintain maximum levels of autonomy. So that means we want to be free to manage as we see fit, free of new and impending government regulations, free of constraints that we think would hamper our competitive advantage. And that allows issues management to prevent problems proactively and solve them in a way that industry specialists know how to best in a more ethically responsible manner than simply designating the decisions to someone else or allowing government to determine what we have to do, because government is not necessarily going to be as expert in our industries as we are. So we must manage issues. We must try to work within our current regulatory environment and prevent new or harsher regulations from being enacted. We must keep good relationships with our legislative branches, all of our elected officials at every level the organization deals with, so that we can maintain our competitive advantage. So we try to seek out problems in the organization before others notice problems and escalate them to a crisis level using the mass media or the public policy process. So by solving problems proactively, we can do it better and in a more free manner than when we're forced to deal with a problem externally. We should be the ones to find those problems through environmental scanning, looking at the environment of the organization, external trends and issues, as well as internal problems, problems of various kinds. It's all our business when we're issues managers. We monitor issues on an ongoing basis, so issues management is a process that never stops. It's a cycle of many issues at any given time that we're monitoring. A large organization, a global size company, will be managing around 30 issues at a time, whereas a small business may be managing 5. So it varies on industry and complexity, but of course we have multiple issues facing us at any given time. We do analysis and research to find out the most we can about those issues. Then we engage in issue forecasting to predict what may happen, how severe the issue may be if it impacts the organization. And of course, we think about the what ifs. We want to be the ones to say, what if the worst thing happened in this particular issue? What if this combined with another issue to become an even bigger escalated problem? How is that possible? That process is called scenario building, where we try to look for the most likely scenarios and prioritize our issues based on how they may impact the organization, based on what are likely scenarios to happen. So if you're doing issues management as the highest level proactive problem-solving function within an organization, you want to be the what-if person. You want to be the bad news person or the problem person, always in the know about problems in the organization, seeking out potential issues, lawsuits, crises before they happen so that you can proactively, through your organization's management response, solve those problems internally before you're forced to solve those problems externally by government, competitors, or others. So let me give you an example, and then we'll move on in another segment for issues management and solve the example. I would like you to think if you were the issues manager for a large manufacturing organization. Let's keep it United States based rather than using a multinational, just to keep it simple for this example. You're a manufacturing organization and you run across in your daily issues management monitoring and briefings, you run across a crime report from one of your manufacturing facilities. You read through the police report. The incident report says that there was a car broken into in a parking lot of one of your manufacturing facilities, and it was an employee's car. The person reported around $300 of property that was stolen from the vehicle, in addition to having vehicle damage, a broken window, and a damaged locking system. So through your environmental scanning, you have found this police report for that one particular manufacturing site. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that you have 12. What do? What is your first step? And how do you start to proactively determine if you have an issue, which, as he said, is a contestable problem or question of fact, value, or policy? Think about the problem part in this particular example, and that should put you on the right track. Anyway, I will cut this now and make another video for you to resolve this and continue talking about issues management part 2. I'll see you then. Thanks for joining me.